in December, Srila Prabhupada went to Bombay, and then towards the end of December of 76, Srila Prabhupada went to Allahabad for Kumbh. And at that time, Prabhupada was taking reflection, and then he went to then he went to Calcutta from Allahabad, and from there Prabhupada went to Bhubaneswar. Gaur Govinda Maharaj received a piece of land, and he wanted Prabhupada to lay the foundation of the temple there. So Srila Prabhupada went to Bhubaneswar, and after Bhubaneswar, Srila Prabhupada came back to Mayapur. That was some weeks before the Gaur Purnima festival. And Srila Prabhupada stayed there for Gaur Purnima. And in Mayapur, Srila Prabhupada's health started to deteriorate quite rapidly. Prabhupada himself suggested that one of his old some devotees, Abhiram Prabhu actually, found out that there was a Ayurvedic doctor who knew Srila Prabhupada, and so he arranged to take him to Mayapur. He started to treat Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada didn't like to take any treatment, but Prabhupada just allowed the person to treat him. Not much improvement was there. And then Srila Prabhupada went to Bombay after the Gaur Purnima festival. A very nice Pandal program was arranged in the Cross Maidan, and Srila Prabhupada attended that conference, that festival, that program. Many people used to come in the evening, and the place it was in the middle of a park, huge park, and thousands of people used to come, and Srila Prabhupada was giving the lecture every evening. And at that time, Srila Prabhupada was staying in the city, in the house of a life member, and a close associate. His name was Mr. Kartikeya Mahadeviya. And throughout that program, Srila Prabhupada stayed in his house. And then after the program, Srila Prabhupada went back to the Bombay temple, Jubilee temple. And at that time, the new temple was under construction. Prabhupada's quarters was ready on the 6th floor of one of the towers. And Srila Prabhupada moved in there. And one day, some old acquaintance of Prabhupada, some very important people. One was the ex-governor, the retired governor of Madras, and his brother-in-law was a very big industrialist, and he was the chairman of Bajaj Industries, Ramakrishna Bajaj, and his brother-in-law, Sriman Narayan, they came to see Srila Prabhupada. And when they were meeting Srila Prabhupada and seeing Srila Prabhupada's health condition, they suggested that Prabhupada went to Rishikesh on the bank of the Ganges. They arranged a house, or they offered to arrange a very nice accommodation for Srila Prabhupada. So they they suggested that Prabhupada went to Rishikesh for a change. And Prabhupada also liked the idea. Prabhupada said he never went to Rishikesh. And he liked the idea of being in Rishikesh on the bank of the Ganges. And so the arrangement was made for Srila Prabhupada to go there. Sri Maharaj was the one who went ahead he was the advance party. He went and made the arrangements. And there was also Pramana Swami and Viraha Prakash. So Prabhupada went to Rishikesh and he stayed there for a few days. But then one night Prabhupada was, those days one of us always used to be with Srila Prabhupada. And I was there with him at around, I used to be there with him from 12 to 2 every night. And it was around 1 o'clock, Prabhupada has called me and told me the time has come for me to leave this planet. And I want to leave my body in Vrindavan, so please make arrangements to take me to Vrindavan. So I immediately ran downstairs and woke up from Krishna Maharaj and told him what Prabhupada said. So he also, in great anxiety and shock, he ran upstairs and Prabhupada told him the same thing. The time has come for him to leave the planet. And he wanted to leave his body in Vrindavan. So that night only we made all the arrangements. We packed up everything. And in the morning we left for Delhi. Prabhupada stayed in Delhi for that night. And the next morning we went to Vrindavan. In Vrindavan, the devotees just got the message that Srila Prabhupada was coming. So they all were so happy, so excited. Hundreds of devotees were there at that time. Prabhupada arrived, had the darshan of the deities. And then Srila Prabhupada went to his quarters and the devotees followed him. And there Prabhupada announced why he came to Vrindavan. The devotees were so ecstatic with the arrival of Srila Prabhupada, their ecstasy turned into tears, started to cry. Just the thought that Prabhupada would leave was totally unbearable and inconceivable. No one thought that Prabhupada would ever leave us. And then Prabhupada started to speak. He explained that this body is perishable. He quoted the verse, Dehi Nashmin Jatha Dehi. And he explained that the body goes through changes, and eventually when the body becomes uninhabitable, the soul leaves the body. Tatha Dehantara. And he emphasized Dhirastatra. Those who are situated in knowledge, they do not become overwhelmed with this changing of body. And then when everyone left, Srila Prabhupada called me. Those days I was to cook for Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada told me not to cook for him. And he mentioned that when there is no appetite, what's the point in eating? So Prabhupada already told that he came to Vrindavan to leave his body, and now he told that we should not cook for him, I should not force him to eat. And what's the point in eating when there is no appetite? It became clear that Srila Prabhupada was just going to fast and leave his body. I told Tamal Krishna Maharaj was Srila Prabhupada's secretary. And not only the secretary, he was Prabhupada's right-hand man, he was Prabhupada's caretaker. Everything, all the time he was concerned so much about Srila Prabhupada's physical welfare, physical well-being. And when I told Tamal Krishna Maharaj said, what can you do? We can't force him, we can't just... And we felt so helpless, and that's what Tamal Krishna Maharaj said. We feel so helpless, we can't do anything. But then many devotees came from all over the world, leading devotees, senior devotees. When Prabhupada stopped in Delhi, Tamal Krishna Maharaj called Adikeshava Prabhu and told him about Prabhupada's decision, and he wanted Adikeshava Prabhu to inform everybody on the GDC and sannyasa. So within a short time, devotees started to come to Vrindavan, and they all had a meeting, and they requested Srila Prabhupada to stay on. And they appealed to Srila Prabhupada, you are a pure devotee of Krishna. If you want to stay on, then Krishna will allow you to stay. And if you leave us, then what will happen to us? We will become orphans. We are just children in our spiritual life. And when this appeal was presented to Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada accepted that appeal and decided to stay. Then Prabhupada allowed me to start cooking at him, and then one day Prabhupada told me to go to Gopinath Bazaar in Vrindavan, and there is an Ayurvedic doctor called Banamali Kaviraj, and asked him to come and treat Srila Prabhupada. So this Ayurvedic doctor, he was very old. He was 92 years old at the time. And he came and started to treat Srila Prabhupada. And his treatment worked. Prabhupada's health condition started to improve. But then Prabhupada wanted to go to Vrindavan. Wanted to go abroad. He wanted to go to preach, go to the West to preach. Prabhupada's plan was first to go to London. From London, he wanted to go to New York to Gitanagari to Los Angeles, and then to Hawaii. And Prabhupada wanted to stay in Hawaii and translate Srimad Bhagavatam. But when Srila Prabhupada went to London, his health condition deteriorated quite drastically. He also had a minor operation, and then he changed his plan and came back to Vrindavan. That was the end of August. And when Prabhupada went to London, I went back to Mayapur, and one day I got a telegram saying, it was sent by Tamal Krishna Maharaj, saying that Prabhupada wants you to come immediately. So I went back and Prabhupada wanted Vanamalika Viraj treating him again. And Vanamalika Viraj started the treatment, but then he gave up. He said, look, my medicine is not working, my treatment is not working. So what's the point in treating? So he gave up. And Prabhupada's health condition started to deteriorate. Already it was quite serious. Prabhupada, after he came back from already Prabhupada's body was quite emaciated. But when he came back from London, his body was very, very frail. When I came back and met Srila Prabhupada, I told Prabhupada, you've become so thin. Prabhupada said, yes, now this body is a set of bones in a bag of skin. And it was practically a set of bones in a bag of skin. There was no flesh. It was very frail and emaciated. Then we tried many things. One day Prabhupada told us in the morning that he had a dream that a Ramanuji Kaviraj was giving him Makaratvaj. So when Prabhupada said that, we thought that probably if we can get a Ramanuji Kaviraj to prepare Makaratvaj, it's an Ayurvedic medicine for Srila Prabhupada, then probably Prabhupada's health condition will improve. So I went out. In Vrindavan there is a Ramanuja temple, Srirangam temple, Ranganath temple. So I went, I looked around, but there was many Ramanuji Vaishnavas, but no Ramanuji Kaviraj was there. Then we got the news that there was another person who is a Ramanuji Kaviraj in some ashram there. Bhagavan Prabhu was there. Him and I went to meet that person. But we could see that person was just a hoax.
Name only.
Name only, yeah. And he wanted a lot of money. So Bhagavan Prabhu said, no, keep Srila. And then gradually Srila Prabhupada's health condition started to deteriorate. One Kaviraj came from Calcutta, Adridharan Prabhu got one so-called Ramanuja Kaviraj from Calcutta. He was a Ramanuja Sampradaya, supposed to be. But he was giving a lot of talk and a lot of hope. But then, on this day, in the evening, when all the devotees were chanting the holy name of the Lord, surrounded by his very dear disciples and followers, Srila Prabhupada went back to the spiritual sky. That morning only, the doctor, that his name was that Ramanuji Kaviraj, who came from Calcutta, Damodar Prasad Shastri. He was treating Srila Prabhupada, and he actually told us that Prabhupada would not stay for very long. And so then it was announced that devotees could come and be with Srila Prabhupada. those days, not many devotees were allowed to come to Srila Prabhupada's room. Only a small group of devotees used to come in turns, in turn to sing, and there used to be 24-hour kirtan in Srila Prabhupada's room. But this time, Prabhupada's door was wide open for anyone to come. And the room was packed with devotees, and many devotees couldn't come to the room. And for them, the curtains in the windows were drawn or were open so that they could see from outside. And in this way, surrounded by hundreds of devotees, and all the devotees were chanting. And I remember, I don't know how the day went by. Like I was by Srila Prabhupada's bed from morning till the evening. I didn't leave. There was no reason to leave. There was no need for the leave to leave Srila Prabhupada's bedside. In the evening, Krishnadas, Babaji Maharaj was there. He came. And from time to time, Srila Prabhupada used to open his mouth, and I was putting water in his mouth. Babaji Maharaj noticed. He said, "See, he's still chanting." And we could see that Prabhupada's lips, when he would open his mouth, we would see that his lips were, but his tongue was vibrating. And it was Babaji Maharaj who pointed out that Prabhupada was still chanting. And in this way, chanting the holy name of the Lord, Srila Prabhupada left this planet. Years went by. Initially it was very difficult when Prabhupada left. Our world became completely void and vacant. But then I'm experiencing that with the passing of time we are becoming more and more aware that Prabhupada did not leave. Prabhupada is with us. When you try to serve him, when you try to follow his instructions, then Prabhupada is with us. Prabhupada also mentioned one time, I was cooking for Srila Prabhupada, and one day Prabhupada used to come and sit down, but he couldn't eat. And Prabhupada told me that, why are you wasting your time cooking for me, and see that I can't eat anything? And I told Prabhupada, I cook with a hope that someday you'd feel better and you'd like to eat. Prabhupada said that I will get better only when I die. And that statement came with such a shock, such a jolt, that I broke down. And then Prabhupada told me, is this what I taught you? Is this what you learned from me? Didn't I teach you that the soul is eternal, the spirit soul is eternal? And this awareness is dawning more and more in the heart with the passing of time. And this awareness is there that if we remain loyal to Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada will always be with us. All he wants is our loyalty. He just disappeared from our vision, but he didn't disappear from our lives. Srila Prabhupada is very much with us. And Prabhupada is asking us, questioning, so how much you love me, that's it. How much you have accepted my teachings. If you really love me, then remain in my service. Continue to serve this mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And if we remain loyal to Mahaprabhu's lotus feet, and Srila Prabhupada will always be with us. So now we will have an artik of Srila Prabhupada. Okay. Sudhikkumar, you can lead treatment. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.